Welcome back to Chamber Exchange, a TV show. For our second segment, I want to thank our sponsors that make the show happen, Bank Hometown and St. Vincent Hospital. Pleased to have with us in our second segment, Rick Brooks, who is the CEO and co-owner of TechEd. Rick, welcome.
Thank you.
So TechEd, maybe you could kind of jump right in and give us a sense of what it is.
We do a lot of different stuff, but our core is we work with local education, local industry, providing manufacturing training, upskilling incumbent workforce, and providing training for the future workforce.
So, and primarily the manufacturing sector?
That's our bread and butter.
Bread and butter.
We cover, if we're talking about education, the vocational schools, we cover a little bit of everything in all those programs, but manufacturing is big in New England, and there's not enough workforce for it. So.
Yeah, in central Massachusetts, one of the top 4 clusters. I think the average median wage in manufacturing is more than healthcare and higher ed, which are big employers as well. But manufacturing also supply chains and helps, keep businesses local. Really, really important. But as you mentioned, there's a shortage in this. And what's your opinion? I mean, people have their opinions as to why, but why when they're such good paying careers?
It's interesting. I would have said recently that the older generation tells their kids, it's dark, dirty, dangerous. We always hear that job, right? You don't want to be stuck in a shop getting home smelling like oil or whatever. Nowadays, we find kids actually don't even know what manufacturing is. They go, I'm on Amazon, I buy it. They don't even realize that thing had to be made, right? So they don't even know these jobs are out there. So it's getting the awareness out.
And there's different kind of types of manufacturing, and yes, there are still the kind of the traditional or perception or perceived perception of manufacturing that is dark and dirty. There's elements of that, but then there's advanced manufacturing and things in between where you go into some of these facilities. It's almost like being in a hospital or
it's
a
insane.
food prep
Clean
place,
rooms,
clean rooms where they're manufacturing there.
Yeah, and these schools now are teaching that stuff, and I think even industry doesn't know that the schools are teaching this, so they don't even know that there are kids being prepared for this. So, I mean, even right down the street at Worcester Tech, they have a huge automation robotics lab, and these kids can get jobs for $70,000 right out of high school if they want, right down the street. So, it's a game changer.
And we focus a lot at the Chamber on issues around workforce, and Voc Tech is a big component of that, because so many of our employers see the value, whether they have students who are co-ops, hiring them, afterwards. They have kind of a skill set that they learn, and then kind of also learn, generally speaking, and in a broader way, what the workplace expects of them. But in talking to manufacturers, I mean, they're so desperate to fill that if someone just even has a baseline, if they've got a work ethic and then maybe a baseline understanding, they say, okay, we'll train you, but maybe they don't train them, maybe it's you train them. So how do you kind of...
Absolutely. I mean, that's a big thing, just getting people that have those core people skills, right? They can learn all of the other stuff, but so we'll go into a company and they might not even know the gaps that they have with their employees. So we can help them say, hey, we want all of our employees to have a baseline. We can align training to what they need, and you can have testing someone comes in and says, hey, I know how to weld. Well, we can have a test that prove that you know how to weld, right? And so we can cut their training time and their costs way down, and provide them higher skilled employees.
Right. What you point out, I think, is really important. If you're a company and you're investing in, oftentimes very expensive pieces of equipment, you want to use them as efficiently as possible.
Yep.
So employees who maybe started, and they've, worked, on a certain kind of tool and die, machining or equipment or whatever, and now you're bringing in something that's a little bit more sophisticated, maybe some computer. I mean, you want to you would work with that employee and kind of skill them up.
Yeah, so we cover kind of the basic fundamentals. So every machine kind of runs the same. There's motors, there's electricity, there's hydraulics, pneumatics. So we're going to get that basic training, and then we're going to hand it over to the company to say, hey, we have this machine, we're going to train you on this machine, but that employee now is going to have the basic fundamentals behind all of that. So they already have, they're ahead of the game, basically.
Right. And is it something that they just kind of bring you on a regular basis, or the companies you're kind of working on with just in certain situations or on onboarding an employee?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the situation. A lot of times it's companies will bring us in to help them upskill their employees already. So it's just kind of saying, hey, we have this guy who really fits the company as a person, and we want to make sure that they're growing in that company. So we want to help them get to higher levels, higher pay grades.
Yeah, and how do you and your team kind of stay on top and knowledgeable about changing equipment? And
it's tough. I mean, we have not a big team, but there's 8 of us. We all kind of have a little specialized field, and education is usually ahead of industry. So with that realm, we kind of stay ahead of all this stuff. The kids and college students need to learn the future of what's coming. So we're kind of ahead of that game, and we can actually help industry saying, hey, there's this robotics, solution that can help what you're doing now, and maybe you can cut some costs. So we stay ahead basically because education makes us stay ahead.
Yeah. And notwithstanding kind of automation and some of the robotics and some of the computer assisted design, as it relates to manufacturing, those have all brought efficiencies and cost savings. But notwithstanding some of that, and less people in some cases
Right.
that are needed, but notwithstanding all of that, still a shortage of workers.
Yeah, still, I mean, we're trying to reshore, we're trying to nearshore. So all of this manufacturing is coming back, and we need to build things in-house. If we need to go to a war or something, have a war,
Right.
we need to be able to build our own stuff. And so we're realizing that now. All this manufacturing is coming back, and people are still buying stuff. So all of this stuff needs to be made, and New England is a hotbed, especially in the defense industry.
Right.
So we have a lot of defense stuff going on in New England where they
people
need
don't
precision.
often. Yeah, you're right. People don't often realize, here in central Massachusetts, certainly in western Mass, going down into kind of Connecticut, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin. I mean, they're Wyman
All over
Gordon,
the place.
Norton St. Gobain. I mean, they all do important work, and in an uncertain world, I think a lot of companies, and not only the government, which orders a lot of these things, want that supply chain here, so that reshoring and nearshoring is
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's key. It's vital for our security. And like I said, New England is the hotbed for it. So we're developing everything from guns, from submarines to the destroyers. I mean, we're building it all right here.
right. And then I was talking to a company, the other day doing kind of the night vision goggles, a component of that.
Cool stuff.
Just really good stuff. So if a company is interested in, in the manufacturing space, trying to, get a better assessment on their skills of their current employees, their new equipment, training, helping
Yep.
them get new employees, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah,
And
techedproducts.com is the best way. We got forms. You can see everything we do there. And we'll come in, we'll talk with them, learn about their company, and kind of align what we have, our curriculum and our hands-on training to what they need, and kind of go from there. Maybe point them in the direction of a community college or a Voc school to help get them workers too.
yeah. And you cover all of New England?
Cover all of New England, yep. Maine to Connecticut.
Got it. And just great opportunities that are out there in the manufacturing sector, but makes a lot of sense for a company that might be, focused on making the widgets of the product, maybe not always having a HR team or technical team to, hire and to do the training, rather
Absolutely.
than hiring people to do it, bringing you in on an as-needed basis or as a consulting basis.
That's what we do. I mean, consulting is our bread and butter. We just want to build up that workforce.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Rick Brooks, CEO and co-owner of TechEd. Thanks for being with us.
Awesome. Thanks,
All
Tim.
right. We're going to stay with us, please, for our next segment.
These days, you've got your hands full in life. That's why we help you bank simply and securely with tools like Face ID and Touch ID. It's why we make it easy to make purchases on the go and get cash back while you're at it. Why we help you quickly deposit checks wherever you are. And it's why we lend a hand with sending and receiving money right from your phone. So even when you're on the move, you can manage your finances. Bank Hometown. Unlock your potential.